Well, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jujitsu 2000 here today. I'm back, and I hope you guys are doing fantastic out there. Today, we're going to talk about a pure sine wave inverter from Alffaa. The current retail price at the time of me filming this video for this sine wave inverter is around $199. However, they offer a $10 coupon, and make sure that you check the description box down below. I'll put a link to where you can find this unit. So the packaging comes very basic, and without further ado, let's go ahead and open it up and see what's included. The first thing that I see here is some operation instructions. So feel free to pause your screen if there's anything there that you want to read a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and pull this out of the package. As you can see, the unit comes packaged very well. Nice protection. So very nice, comes with a plastic bag to keep all the stuff off of the unit. So it's a very clean package. I like that. So this is good for when you have sensitive electronic equipment, like this camera, like a laptop computer, like a CPAP machine, any kind of medical equipment or anything like that. A sine wave produces the cleanest electricity possible. So there's a look at the unit. Here's a look at the back side. You got two very quiet cooling fans that blow air out of the unit. Here's a look at the bottom. And then here is a look at the business end of the unit. So as you can see, you have two USB 2.1 amp. So these are 5 volt 2.1 amp output. You have two 110 volt alternating current ports here. You have a display that will display the voltage of the battery, and then here you have a display that shows the voltage that's being produced and the amperage that's being drawn. So very cool. And for those of you who aren't familiar with what a power inverter does, it converts 12 volt DC to 110 volt AC alternating current. 1500 watt maximum output, and again 4.2 amps, and that's combined out of these two USB-A ports. Now the cool thing about this unit is it comes with lots of protection systems on it. So you've got over voltage protection, you've got under voltage protection, and in the event that you experience either of those, over voltage or under voltage on your source battery, this unit will start to reduce the output voltage to protect everything that you might have plugged into it. It's very, very cool. This unit also offers short circuit protection, ground fault circuit interruption protection, so these are GFCIs, overload protection, and over temperature protection. So lots of protection systems on this unit. I'm very excited about it. As you can see right here on the back, you can unscrew this negative terminal and the positive terminal, and that's where you would connect your wires to your battery to power this unit. Now, I must say, I kind of wish that this unit would have came with some wires that we could use to connect this to the battery. That would have been nice if it would have had the wires with it. This unit does have a 60-month warranty. That is 5 years of warranty that you can get out of this unit. Now the dimensions of this unit is 11.42 inches long, 5.91 inches wide here, and 3.15 inches in depth, I guess you would call it. So it's not that big of a unit, and the weight of this, the shipping weight anyway, is 6.3 pounds. Now this unit is 1500 watts continuous, and it will peak at 3000 watts. But they recommend that you don't go over 2000 watts. If we just stay around 1500 watts, I think you'll be good to go. It's got a nice heavy duty aluminum housing, and aluminum's nice because it helps dissipate heat away from the circuitry. It's a very good heat dissipator, and you can see on the side of the unit all over the place there's little fins that are not that noticeable, but these fins also help aid in dissipation of the heat. Now if you're going to install one of these units, make sure that you put this thing horizontal so that the fans can blow outward, or make it where the fans are on the up side so that heat can rise and get up out of the unit. You wouldn't want to install it with the fans on the bottom, because it's going to be fighting against naturally producing heat, and it's going to have a hard time cooling the unit. So make sure, like I said, that the fans are up or horizontal when you install this unit. Okay, let's talk about installing this unit to a deep cycle battery. Now I was going to use that old Interstate deep cycle battery, but that thing is so old I don't even think it's good anymore. So I've replaced that battery with a lithium iron phosphate battery. So I have a 200 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery from CHINS. We're going to go ahead and use this battery to install this power inverter. So I'm going to use these cables to connect this inverter to this battery. These are 4 AWG cables. Cool thing about this battery and this inverter is we only really need one more component to make this an off-grid situation. If we have a solar panel, we just need a charge controller. So it's very simple to make this an off-grid situation. That's all there is to installing this unit to a battery. So at this point, we'll just kind of move this stuff around so you can see the screen here. Now that we have the unit installed, let's go ahead and turn the power switch on. You can see that it will give us a digital readout of the voltage of our battery. It also gives us a digital readout of the current sine wave voltage that the inverter is producing, as well as amperage output. Now at this time we can connect peripherals if we wish to the USBs. So we'll just plug that in right there. And for the example, we'll just plug in my GoPro and wait a second and you'll see this little light pop up. There it is. There's that little red indicator telling us that the GoPro is charging. And if we want to add another peripheral, we can. The GoPro is charging and the flashlight is both charging at the same time. I have this small Porter cable trim router, and we'll set this flashlight back. We'll go ahead and plug this in, and let's turn this on. 1.4 amps of output. 1.4, that's not too bad. It had no problem powering that little trim router. That worked out good. My flashlight has turned green, so my flashlight is already finished charging, so we'll unplug that. We're going to go ahead and test something a little bit larger. This is a miter saw, and this one pulls about 14 amps. So let's take a look and see if it'll run this. So I'll try it dry without a load, and then I'll put a piece of wood there and we'll see what happens. So hopefully it'll run this. Let's take a look. So when it first started, it ran all the way up to 12.2 amps. Let's go ahead and cut a piece of wood and see how that goes. Let's give it a shot. As you can see, it has plenty of power to run this saw. Let's cut a couple more. Not too bad. As you can see, it clearly ran this saw with no problems. We did quite a bit of cutting and made a mess of our bench. That was quite impressive. A 14 amp miter saw. I mean, it ran just fine. Of course, I made a mess over here, but nothing that an air compressor can't take care of. But wow, that was pretty impressive. That's a lot of power that you're getting out of that unit, and it's definitely doing what it says it'll do, because this draws quite a bit. So maybe you're on a job site or something and you got to cut a few boards, and maybe you have a miter saw or something. You could definitely do that with this setup. What if you're like me and you use a lot of power tools and you need to charge your batteries out on the job site? Here I've got this 2-bay battery charger. Let's go ahead and plug this in, and you can see the green flashing telling us that our charger is ready. Let's go ahead and plug these in. There's one, there's two. Now you can see that both of them are illuminated red. So it's charging both of those batteries, and we're not drawing that much. 0.8 of an amp. Not much at all. So it's doing easy work charging my power tool batteries. I'll tell you what, this unit's very impressive, and I like the big air intakes here. And there you can hear the fans kicking on, and the GoPro is pretty much done. Now, when it comes to these fans, I need to make a correction. I've got a little piece of string in my hand. You can see that the air is blowing out on the front, and the air is coming in on the back. So the airflow for this unit is actually opposite of what I thought. So if you can put this side up and this side down, that will let heat rise and come out of this unit if it's not mounted horizontally like you see here. So let's take a look at that again. You can see that the air clearly is being pushed that direction. Now when I put my hand on the top of the unit, it's warm, but it's not hot. It's nothing that I can't withstand. So I think it's doing great. And just as I turned the camera off on that last shot and readjusted my angle, this fan turned off, so it didn't run that long. And as you can see, we have green lights telling us that both of these batteries are fully charged. So this power inverter has done a good job. We have 110 volt pure sine wave, 13 volts in this CHINS battery, and it's just working absolutely fantastic. We'll go ahead and unplug that, turn the unit off, and let's take it out and see how it does in the Chinook. Okay, right now we're out in the Chinook, and we are looking at the 2000 watt NUPOA power inverter and the 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. And right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these systems out. Well, I mean, I'm going to leave the inverter here, but I'm going to put the other one right on top of it because it's screwed to the plywood. But I'm going to remove this battery, and I'm going to put that 200 amp CHINS battery in here, and I'm going to use those units to power my Chinook, and then we'll see how that works. And now you can see we have the 200 amp hour CHINS lithium iron phosphate battery, and we have the 1500 watt pure sine wave inverter from Alffaa. We're going to go ahead and turn the power on, and this is going to turn on all the power to the Chinook. So now that the power is turned on, we're going to look at our charge controller. We have blue, which means we are operating on a lithium phosphate battery. Green means our battery voltage is good, and this flashing photovoltaic means that we're bringing in solar power right now. So we're charging that CHINS battery. But let's go ahead and test the system. We'll start with the fantastic fan. It should kick on. There we go. That kicked on. Then let's look at the microwave. Let's give it maybe 1 minute. You can see that the microwave is working, no problems. And then if I come up here and I'm looking up above, I'm gonna flip this switch on the opposite side here. Where is it? There it is. And now we have this fan working. So we got the fan working, we've got the lights, we've got everything working. The microwave is still going, fantastic fan is going. So this Chinook RV is completely off-grid using the CHINS battery and the Alffaa 1500 watt pure sine wave inverter. It was very, very easy, simple to install. Now everything's working. You can see my microwave just finished. We can look at our monitor here, and we can see that the battery condition is good, meaning we're charging. That was working good. The water pump kicks on. Everything's working as it should. Very, very easy. So if you're in an off-grid situation and you're looking for some power, these two in combination with one another work pretty good together. I always like looking inside to see what kind of quality of a build there is inside of a unit. So here's what this one looks like. You can see very good high quality capacitors. Everything looks like it's terminated very well. Looks like a pretty clean build. And yeah, it looks like it's put together pretty good. I like these nice thick aluminum heat dissipators. So those will definitely get rid of heat. So very well put together unit. And nice thick wires inside. Good tight connections. The terminals, everything is built pretty well. So my final thoughts on the Alffaa 1500 watt pure sine wave inverter. That thing is absolutely fantastic. It blew away every expectation that I had. It blew it out of the water. It worked very, very good. The price point is good. The only thing that I wish they would have done on that is I wish they would have included some cables that I mentioned in the video before. The CHINS 200 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery is top notch. In my testing, both of these units have done absolutely fantastic. I want to say thank you to the companies involved that sponsored me for this video and donated those devices for me to do this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're interested in those products, please take a look down at the description box down below. I'll put links to where you can find the battery as well as the power inverter. And with all that being said, folks, please feel free to leave comments down below. Like this video, share this video, and until next time, I hope you guys have a beautiful day. We'll see you then. Bye for now.